How's it going, guys? Got some good news to start off your day. Tonight we're getting Jonathan Loaisiga and Gio Urshela back from the injured list. And then later this week, we're getting Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. How's it going, everybody? Down the final stretch we come. Yankees and Blue Jays tonight in the Bronx. This series has major playoff seeding implications. Right now, just a half game in the standings separate the Blue Jays and the Yankees. The Blue Jays are 26-20. The Yankees are 26-21. A full game in the standings, but if the Yankees can take this series, they'll be ahead of the Blue Jays. And ideally, you'd like to sweep this series. I know it's tough to ask for a sweep against a pretty good team, but I think it's possible. And the way Deivi Garcia has been pitching, he's the guy you want on the mound tonight in Game 1 of this series. He, of course, started off this win streak with a great performance up there in Buffalo. He's pitching for a possible playoff spot. You know, he might get a start in this rotation once the postseason turns around. If he goes off on a run here and wins 2 or 3 in a row, I don't see how you can not start him in the playoffs. And plus, this kid seems unflappable. He's got that demeanor where nothing seems to faze him. So I think this is a good position for him. This is a good test for him. Also, the Yankees, as I mentioned, are getting some guys healthy. Gio Urshela is back. Jonathan Loaisiga is back. Now, the bullpen was overworked quite a bit during that stretch where they went 5-15. The bullpen was just getting ripped all the time, almost every game. They blew a number of leads that have really cost the Yankees the division, to be honest. They're 4 games out in the division. I don't see them catching the Rays. But having Jonathan Loaisiga back allows you to have somebody in that middle part of the game that can pitch 2 or 3 innings and has a really good arm and can be dominant. And that allows you to shift everybody back, shift Ottavino back to like the 6th or 7th. Then you use Chad Green, Zach Britton, and then, of course, Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning. So the Yankees have the pieces coming together. It's just a matter of getting hot, staying hot, and most importantly, staying healthy over the next couple weeks. They've had so many problems with injuries the last few years that I'm bracing myself for Stanton and Judge to come back and be right back on the IL. I'm just mentally and emotionally preparing myself for that. Honestly, I hope it doesn't happen, but part of me thinks it will. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know a lot of people want to trade Stanton. I don't think anybody's going to trade for Stanton. Just the contract he has and the amount of time he spent on the injured list. Also, he's got that humongous contract. He's got a no-trade clause, so Stanton's not going anywhere. So the Yankees have got to figure out a way to get him healthy and keep him healthy. They thought by maybe putting him on the roster as the DH, and having him play every single game as the DH would keep him healthy, but then he gets hurt running the bases. So he's got to learn to do basic baseball activities without getting hurt. Aaron Judge, of course, plays defense, and he's taking twice as much abuse out there because he does have to play the field. He's got to run into walls. He's got to dive for balls. But he's a little bit younger than Giancarlo Stanton. He's also a premier defensive player. And I feel like Aaron Judge is going to get healthy. I feel like he's a guy that, for the most part, is in incredible shape. He's a great athlete. He's just had a bit of bad luck. One of his injuries was a broken wrist. He's had a couple of oblique issues. He seems to have solved that problem. And then this year, the legs. So, once he gets it all together and they get used to these new training regimens, maybe they can get some new training regimens this offseason that kind of build flexibility. Then we'll have those guys back for next year, healthy the whole season, hopefully. So I'm kind of bummed that we won't have any fans in the stands over the next couple weeks because the stadium is going to be hopping with these guys coming back, making a run for the postseason, and only a couple weeks until the Bubble City playoffs begin. So this should be an interesting time for baseball. I've never seen anything like it. Nobody has. Let's just enjoy it. Win or lose, it's going to be a lot of fun. So with Stanton and Judge coming back, that begs the question, what do you do with Clint Frazier? Well, yesterday, Aaron Boone said that Clint Frazier is going to be the starting left fielder when those guys return, and that's huge for him. That is huge. This is a guy who is almost on the scrap heap or on the, trade wire, if you will. He struggled with the concussion symptoms 2 years ago. He made a play in the outfield in spring training, banged his head on the wall, and he just never got right after that. And then last year he comes back and he does pretty well offensively, but he really struggled defensively. He had a -1 defensive WAR according to baseballreference.com. But this year he's been a positive player on defense. He's got a plus 0.3. Now I know that's not a ton, but anything positive is good. He's also got a 1.2 overall WAR because his offensive WAR is 0.8. He's batting .280 with a .387 on-base percentage. He's got a .904 OPS, or on-base plus slugging. He's been about 48% better than the average hitter. He's got a 148 OPS plus, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. You saw him running the bases very well the other day. He's looked good on defense. And I just feel like his whole attitude, his whole demeanor has changed. He's playing with confidence. You know, when you're playing poorly on defense and getting bad routes and just not feeling confident, the ball can just seem really small up there in the sky. It can seem really, really tough to track down. But once you get off to a good start and you're taking good routes and you're feeling comfortable and you're having that natural reaction, catching baseballs is something he's done his whole life. So he's just kind of slipping back into that muscle memory mode. And I love the way he's been using the whole field. He takes the ball to right field. He can turn on it and pull it to left field. He's got that incredible bat speed. He tweaked his stance so that he's got that hip kind of turned in, that front knee kind of turned. That brings even more bat speed. He's run the bases well. He had a triple the other day. He had a really big hit in the 9th inning the other day. So I'm just so happy for Clint Frazier. It seemed like last year we spent way too much time talking about his off-the-field issues, his shoes, his Instagram, all that stuff. He has really, really matured as an athlete, and that's what you need if you're going to be the starting left fielder for the New York Yankees. And I really just hope that he can stay healthy for the rest of the year. He's done a really good job staying on the field the last couple of years. If he can just stay healthy and really have a productive couple of weeks to finish out the season and then play well in the postseason, I don't see any reason why the Yankees wouldn't make him the starting left fielder next year to open the season. It seems as if Brett Gardner, who I think he's making about $7.5 million this year, it seems as if Brett Gardner is destined to retire at the end of the season because he doesn't seem like the same player he's been. He's still got occasional pop. He's still got speed, but he just doesn't do enough offensively. And Clint Frazier is just an electric hitter. He can change the game for you. So, honestly, you're not going to pay Brett Gardner $7.5 million or even $5 million when you can get Clint Frazier for pennies on the dollar. So, congratulations to Clint Frazier on becoming a part of the Yankees outfield for the foreseeable future. I know there's a lot of guys in the comments that comment anytime I mention Clint Frazier, you better not trade Clint Frazier. I love Clint Frazier. I'm starting to really like him too. During the offseason, I made a video called Let's Talk About Clint Frazier, where I kind of chronicled his history with the Yankees, from arriving and hitting that first home run with against Houston, in Houston, to hitting a walk-off about a week later against the Brewers at Yankee Stadium, and then his concussion, then he missed the entire year. He raked in AAA, comes back, and just last year was a defensive struggle. He was okay offensively, but not tremendous. He had an 806 OPS, which is above average. It's pretty good. But this year he's really come into his own. He's been, like I said, 48% better than the average player. So great job for Clint Frazier on rebounding this year and putting the focus back on his baseball skills and not on what he's doing off the field. Hey guys, help support the podcast by buying swag from my store. Link is in the description.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps YouTube suggest this channel to other Yankees fans.